Hi, Chris, back with video number 19 of my 25-part series. Hard to believe that we're this far along. Hopefully you've seen the other videos and you're internalizing them and you're doing some execution. Again, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, just a little bit at a time. This one's about a really important word in my opinion, responsiveness. How responsive is your practice, your team, to your patients? We can do a really good job of bringing people in the door and being nice to them and providing a pretty good experience in the office, although I think that most offices could do much better in that regard, and we're always working on getting better at that. The big question is, how responsive are you to patients after that? It's what happens after the appointment that really defines what your business is like. Do you get back to people same day, within 24 hours? If they have a question about their orthotics, or is something covered by insurance, or they want a refill on a prescription, or they have a question about their bill, is your team responsive to that? And do they understand, does your team understand how important being responsive is? Most people don't. They just feel like, they'll get back to them. But unless you, the leader, has a protocol for that, and it's enforced by somebody, your team's not doing as good of a job as they could, and it reflects on your business. It's part of marketing. I believe everything's part of marketing. You could have a great outcome and the patient's going to be unhappy because they weren't responded to. And I always say underpromise, overdeliver. Well, this is one place where you could do that. We always say we'll get back to you within 24 hours, and ideally we're back to them within like an hour. That always looks good. So being responsive is so important, and you got to just make sure it's happening. You have to ask your staff. You have to verify because trust, but verify is really important in this regard because so many things get missed, and we're constantly finding things in our practice where the responsiveness wasn't as good. When a patient sits in my chair and says that they weren't responded to, like ever, but they're still with me, thankfully. It makes me crazy because how could that ever happen? How do we let that fall through the cracks? So responsiveness is that important, and if you really put those protocols in place, your practice is going to look better, patients are going to be happier, and they're going to stay and refer as usual. We'll see you in video number 20.